Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel. No gameplay tonight, although I was planning on doing a little bit of Dragon Age tonight. Unfortunately, the evening got away from me a little bit, so we won't be able to do that tonight. I will make sure I do some more Dragon Age next month. But as you can see, we've got a delivery in that just came in from Noble Knight earlier today. So let's crack this open and see what we've got in here. It's one of these boxes that I don't really like. Fortunately, Noble Knight doesn't do an excessive tape job, which I've always hated with some of these other places. But this type of box has always been a little bit weird to cut. But let's see what we can do with this one. There we go. Okay, that cuts nice and easily. We can unfold that. Closing the knife, careful. Actually, let's not close it yet. Sometimes we have pockets of air in here, but not this time from the looks of it. I'll start getting stuff out of here, and the first thing we're greeted with is the player's handbook for Dungeons and Dragons, version 3.5. Now, I'm going to crack this open because there was one of these that might have been marked up. Was it this one? Name and inscription inside, okay? Let's see what's in here. Okay, looks like there is some kind of inscription in here. There's supposed to be I thought there was supposed to be a map in here as well, but doesn't look to be a map in here anywhere. It's not terribly marked up from the looks of it. So yeah, I think we can work with that. So the main reason I got this, and I'll be right back to grab something. The main reason I got that is because I've actually had a set of original character sheets for 3.5 lurking around for quite a while. I actually played D&D 3.5 very briefly back in high school, so I've still got character sheets from that era, which I've got character sheets for every class here. I've got a few copies for... Yep, I've got a few copies in here for each class. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but I do have character sheets for that all ready to go. So now I've got at least the player's handbook. But of course, there's more in here than just the player's handbook for 3.5. What we're greeted in here by next, though, is actually not related to D&D 3.5. What we're greeted by is related to Star Wars: The Role-Playing Game for Force and Destiny. This is the Game Masters kit by Edge Studio. So in here, on an isolated world in the heart of the galaxy, the Empire guards the secret legacy of the vanquished Jedi. But fate gives an unlikely group of adventurers a chance to defy Imperial forces and reveal their birthright as champions of the Force. Take your Star Wars Force and Destiny campaign to the next level with the Force and Destiny Game Masters kit. Complete construction rules provide players the chance to build their very own lightsabers using the crystals they harvest during this kit's brand new adventure. In addition, brand new rules and advice for Game Masters concerning night level play lets GMs challenge players with adventures worthy of aspiring Jedi, and a deluxe Game Masters screen places the most commonly referenced rules close at hand. This product includes a 32-page book and a 4-panel Game Masters screen. A copy of the Force and Destiny role-playing game core rulebook is required to use this supplement. And of course, I do have a copy of the Force and Destiny core rulebook over in my budding gamebook library. Let me crack this open so we can take a look at what's all in here. Easy does it. All right, the shrink can go away. This is the adventure module that comes with it. I'm not going to give this a thumb through because I eventually want to be able to play through this without spoilers. We're just going to thumb through it very slightly. Just enough to figure out what's all in here, okay? And then we'll take a look at the This is just a notation. This is just like an advertising sheet of what's in there. Whereas here is the Game Master's screen. And look at the art on that. You got Darth Maul, Yoda, and I'm not sure who this is. Probably an imagined player character. And then again, as it's advertised, we've got the most common rules laid out right there and things we would need to reference. So that's very cool. That gives me something else for Force and Destiny I can sink my teeth into. Then we can get the bag ready to hit the bin. Next up in here, we are greeted by the Dungeon Master's Guide for 3.5 in Dungeons and Dragons. We'll give this a very cursory thumb through as well. This one doesn't have any kind of special notes with it. Binding maybe is a little bit on the loose side, but not. It's a little bit loose, but it's not terrible. No writing in here, and it doesn't look to be terribly marked up. So I think we should be fine there. Very nice. So letting me access the D&D that I used to play in high school. So now I've got 5e and 3.5, so two very different systems to sink my teeth into. But of course, the set of D&D core rule books wouldn't be complete without a copy of the Monster Manual. So now I've got the core books for 5e and 3.5, so that's very cool. I'll probably be doing a lot of mostly freeform content when I get 3.5 to the channel, and the binding seems to be in good shape on this one. No kind of special binding in here. And it looks like we've got some. Oh, these look like they're just novels here. We'll give this a quick thumb through as well. Looks like all monsters, but everything looks to be in pretty good shape there. So no marking in there. So that's very cool. And then we've got one last thing in here. What we've got in here now, I can get the box out of the way because I won't need that anymore. Hey Jester, just going through a product unboxing of some stuff I got from Noble Knight tonight. We've got a book of the Towns and Taverns Book of Battle Mats from Loke Battle Mats. So open and roll. Attention adventurers, the Towns and Taverns Book of Battle Mats are two urban fantasy themed tabletop roleplay map books full of modular maps. Create your own towns with two books that line up to create endless layouts, giving you a 24 by 24 inch map area from books that fit in your bag. Reduce your game prep time with these portable mats. Wipe clean with a 1-inch grid design. The 360 degree spine allows the book to fold completely in half if space is tight, or lay dead flat so your adventure can unfold in front of you. With imagination-sparking designs, the Towns and Taverns books of battle mats are reusable for a limitless number of encounters. With winding alleys, village streets, warehouses, docks, taverns, and more to explore, Towns and Taverns are waiting for you. So it's over to you. Roll for initiative. Am I looking for more D&D stuff? You have a bunch of 4th edition books and add-ons. Let me do a little bit with the D&D stuff I've got first, Jester. I do appreciate the offer, though. I've heard a lot of bad things about 4th edition, though, so it might not be 4E that I'm looking to get into. But we'll see. I'm probably going to do a D&D solo stream on Saturday, so we'll see what I start thinking of D&D, at least 5E then. I definitely want to get some 3.5 out as well, just because that's what I played back in high school. So the reason I like this style of book in particular is because what you can do here is you can actually, it might be a little bit hard to see, so let me tip the camera down just a touch. You can actually take a pair of these maps. You can actually take these two books, lay them out, and in theory, you could end up with a somewhat coherent, let me bring this over here, but you can end up with a theoretically coherent set of maps that you can set up a scenario with, or set up a map scenario. So it'll give me a little bit to play with. If I've ever played Castle Ravenloft board game, that system is based on 4E with daily powers and the like. I have played some of those games. I think I've played Castle Ravenloft. I had Wrath of Ashardalon. I think I had quite a few of them, but I ended up getting rid of them. But I may end up looking into those again at some point now that I'm starting to explore more about D&D. But yeah, I really like how these maps lay out, and there's a whole wide variety of things that I can get into here. Like even changing the bottom map out gives me might not be necessarily logical. I'd have to play around with interpretation on the scene that I've got. Wonder if there's a water themed map in here that would make this make a lot more sense. A lot of it's theater of the mind too, for what I would be able to put together. I wonder. I was going to say maybe turn this, but that probably wouldn't even make sense either, because you'd end up having. Actually, what if I do something like this? That's actually a map that could probably work pretty well, where you got docks to either side. So again, it's setting up a lot with theater of the mind with these maps. I've also got there's a dungeons map. There's a set of dungeons maps in this style that I've got as well. I've got oh yes, it's a dungeon, and there's also a rooms book there's a set of rooms books that I may pick up. But I definitely like having more maps available to me so I can rotate the top book 180, and then you get water to water. I'd thought of that briefly, but I don't know how much sense that would make for. I was thinking about putting it. Yeah, looking at a map like that, it probably wouldn't make sense, because you'd end up with essentially so wait a minute, what are you saying? Rotate. I thought this was what you were suggesting as far as going water to water. But even looking at a map like this, I was thinking about the idea of putting this water to water, but it probably wouldn't make much sense, because you'd essentially have boats running into each other. So it's definitely worth playing around with all of this. So I think here was. Are you thinking something? Actually, that was kind of what I was thinking, with this being like a harbor scene of what you get into. So actually, yeah, this could work as a potential harbor scene. But again, a lot of it's going to be theater of the mind with the kind of scene that you're trying to get to. I could get some tiles to overlay. That's definitely an option as well in terms of playing around with some of these maps for RPGs. But this will give me a lot to play with. This will give me a lot to play with at any rate. So I can definitely play with these off. I can definitely play with these off channel. But I'll put these back away. Once I get them. There we are. So we've got that. All three of these. Actually, let me move that a little bit. And that is everything from my latest delivery for Noble Knight Games. Once I wrap this stream up, I'm going to be setting up tomorrow night's stream of Glory Days Boxing from Glory Days Games. Definitely an RPG-focused week on the channel. Thursday night, we'll be doing another RPG. I haven't decided what it's going to be yet. I was going to do Dragon Age tonight, but I may punt that. I may punt that until next week sometime. I'm thinking it might be either Star Wars Force and Destiny or Arkham Horror role-playing game on Thursday, but I haven't decided that yet. We may do the other one Friday, but again, going to play that by ear. If I'm looking for help, I have about 100 hours in D&D from 2nd edition to 5th edition. Thanks for the offer, Jester. I will definitely keep that in mind. As far as what else is coming up on the channel, 1,000 hours, even better. As far as what else is coming up on the channel, Saturday Mystical Munchies will continue out of the unofficial Disney Parks cookbook with the dessert, caramel pecan bars. And Sunday next week, we're back to the links again for the 2nd week in a row with a Sunday morning tea time, but this time we're playing ASG Golf. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone.